Floor 2. Something that felt hard for the sake of being hard. The people who talked about this may or may not have saved the very level, the very floor. I mean, I found my expectations corrupted by this update. I even felt like Floor 2 was impossible. But with this floor just coming out, this brings up one question. Is it on par with Floor 1? Is it on the same level, or is it something that won't even get close to the same feeling that Floor 1 bestowed? Let's find out. You spawn in an elevator, seeing a generator that's missing 2 parts. You search for the parts, and after finding them, you decide to put them right in. Then you go ahead and get to the next room. And as you keep walking, you hear a whisper as a familiar foe appears once again. Screech. However, Screech doesn't need darkness to show up, making him way more annoying than he was before. But you quickly find him and scare him off. However, you suddenly hear giggling, and as you look up, you see this pink creature looking down, waiting for you to walk. And as you do, he falls right on your face, ripping off your skin and giving you lacerations. And after you survive this brief encounter with this deadly creature, you make your way to the next room, when unfortunately the lights go off and the area around you shakes. As the shaking calms down, you hear a sound that you feel like you heard before. Then Rush speeds through, causing you to hide in a nearby locker. Then skipping ahead, we get the exact same that happens beforehand with Rush, but instead it's Ambush, who comes back again and again. Unfortunately, you figure out you can't hide multiple times because there's a new and improved hide. Now hide is much different, not only kicking you out, but also preventing you from going back in. On top of that, he also stops you from going in sewer holes and dumpsters. But listen, hide is great, but there's something that sucks when you have to hide. And I think you know what it is already. If you couldn't guess, it's the fact that it removes the lights. And if there's no lights, it's gonna make it harder to actually progress. So with that being said, if it's dark and you see the first door in front of you, you might just happen to walk in. But unfortunately, as you walk right in, you see Dupe, who you met in the hotel beforehand. And guess what? He does the exact same thing that happened to you last time in the hotel. But listen, Dupe is someone you can say is a multiplying entity, as there can be more than one in a room. However, there's a monster that seems to be large in numbers, and on top of that, they also love lights. In fact, they love them so much that they destroy them every time they see it. Or at least, I guess, see them, I don't know. I was kind of going on a tangent there, but as you can see, if it's dark and you have your light out, you gotta be careful, because if not, the bats swarm you, ripping you to shreds since you're holding a goddamn light. And you know what? You should've just put it away. But oh well, there goes your health. Now after the Goon Black... What the fuck did I just say? Now after the Gloom Bats, we have the blue ghastly figure. No, not that figure, goddammit. Anyways, Halt is the ghost entity of doors. He shows up once again, making it very hard to actually progress, giving you little time to react to his little game, as you either go forward or backwards. But it's more challenging inside this claustrophobic cavern. But wait a damn second, what color is Halt? Honestly, he looks blue to me. What color is the new hide? He looks pretty red. What if we combine red and blue? What color do we even get? Oh yeah, purple. Speaking of purple, you know who exactly I'm talking about. The entity you happen to be using to watch this video right now. Now the eyes are much harder in Floor 2, as they're able to teleport over and over again. Look, the eyes were cool, but there's other monsters that were carried over, but are less common. On top of that, there's some who, as you can see, I have no idea are actually in Floor 2. To be honest with you, I do not know, because I never experienced them in any of my runs, especially when I beat the game. Now, if you actually want to find out whether or not these guys are in Floor 2, you can go ahead and check it out for yourself. Anyways, now as we move on to the 3 main monsters, well technically 2, because one of them happens to be banished from the end game. And you might be asking, who exactly swaps positions with who? I mean, what entity decided to switch with another one? Well, the entity that got swapped was the main antagonist of Floor 1, Figure. And Figure takes up the same role, roaming around trying to find where you are, briefly reacting to any sound he hears. Now, Figure may seem like an idiot, but if Figure walks into you, he will kill you. But you can avoid him by either throwing around glow sticks or just simply being patient. Now that we're done with Figure, let's actually talk about the first encounter with Seek. So Seek appears to take the main villain role over Figure. I mean, you'll find out more later, but Seek's first encounter happens on door 140. and he comes down from the sewer chasing you yet again. But instead of having to simply turn, this new chase requires you to jump to the other side, while at the same time figuring out the right way, where the guiding light can either guide you or deceive you. But listen, you make it to a part where you have nowhere to go, and unfortunately you fall down. But luckily there happens to be a minecart system down below, and this allows you to continue fleeing. But after a while, you find yourself heading into a station, which lucky enough closes the doors on Seek, seemingly saving you. Now of course you decide to leave the station, but as you get further away from the station, you see this giant giant creature that has a similar appearance to Screech, seeming to be the originator of Screech. Or is that actually the case? Anyways, Grumble is the name of the creature I'm talking about. Now, in this station, you have to fix the power generator, and if you don't, then you're not going to be able to continue. Now, when you take a look at the top of this generator, you can see a little satellite on top of it that points you in the direction that you need to go. Now, after doing the first one, you realize you have to find 4 different ones. Since you have one done, you decide to go out and find the rest. But unfortunately, as you try to find the others, Grumble comes back, once again trying to kill you. Lucky for you, Grumble doesn't kill in one hit. Instead, he does 50 damage. However, it's still a safe practice to make sure you don't get hit anytime you're near him. But fast forward a little bit, and we found every single panel. And you decide to press the button to finally fix the generator. Or not really fix it, I guess you could say just to power it on. But as you do that, you notice that Grumble breaks in and continues chasing you. So you decide to run away, finally escaping Grumble. Now, after this devastating and monstrous encounter with Grumble, you find yourself at door 152, seeing another familiar face, somebody that seems more friendly, Jeff, the shopkeeper, and he sells these gears that helps you in the rest of your playthrough. Now, since I don't want to be here forever editing, here's a brief rundown of all the items, alongside some extra things that I didn't include in previous parts of the video. But before I move on, I just want to say, I'm not too sure what's not in floor 2 and what is. So let me know in the comments, because honestly, I haven't experienced every single item. If there is every item that carried over, just let me know down below. Anyways, we found ourselves in a sewage system instead of a deep and vast cave. Okay, wait, never mind. That's not even true. We're still in a goddamn cave. But look, we skip ahead a little bit, encountering Figure once again. Now, I already talked about him, but there's a difference between this one and the first one. Instead of being in a small room that has a limited view, you're in this big room that has a generator that's missing its parts. After you avoid Figure and grab each part, you decide to open the door and obviously get the fuck out of there. But after that brief encounter with Figure, we make it to 195, the door where you meet Seek once again. And guess what? He appears the exact same way and chases you right after. But the thing is, this chase is different, having a pipe system that can mislead you with all different ways to go. But you have a slim chance to recover and continue. Although you have some setbacks, you do actually make it past Seek, and you bring yourself to door 199. But did you guys know that floor was already released? I mean, look at this room. 201? Holy shit. If you guys want to go play floor 3, just walk into it. Okay, I'm obviously joking. I mean, did you really believe that? Anyways, we find room 200 and walk right in, seeing this large area that has pipes emptying out this black liquid. You walk around a little, but you suddenly see Seek once again, who takes on this full body eyeball form. Now, after this sudden transformation, you realize you have to go over and turn these valves. After turning all of them, you realize he gets flushed down. Now with this, you jump off and parkour across to each one. But you can mess up and fall into the Seek-infested water. So you decide to be extra careful, and you keep doing this until you see this eye worm that comes out of the liquid. Now you do get worried, but you keep going. And you go valve to valve, where you finally find the last one. But suddenly, as you find the last one, this happens. And after draining out Seek, you switch on the generator and you open the gate, climbing up the ladder. Once again, you find yourself to be in another area. But instead, it seems to be an outside area, a place where you can finally take a breath of fresh air. Finally seeing wilderness after all your time encountering these terrible, evil entities. But you notice a castle, and you're a little curious, so you decide to walk right over and open the gate. But this happens. As you just saw, the game ended on a cliffhanger ending. That makes you realize that all along, they might have been telling a story. And on top of that, it's Seek who's really the problem. Just imagine how powerful he is, and how much he's probably just toying with you this whole time. Anyways, as you can see, we're done with this little recap, so allow me to tell you how I actually feel about Floor 2. To put it simply, I think Floor 2 is an alright experience. It's nothing too crazy and it's nothing that's super bad. I would say it fits into the mid-range. Now, I know Doors is still expanding and getting better, but we have to realize that Doors is one of the most high-quality horror games on Roblox. But it's just like, come on, man. It doesn't hit like it should. The reason why is because there's not much that's new. Sure, the map looks cool, and at times it could actually look pretty good, but most of the stuff that we've experienced is something that's from floor 1. For example, we have the same entities that keep showing up, and on top of that, we only have 3 or 4 new ones. And even with that, there's parts of the game that feel like they're super prolonged and kind of feel padded. Now, I'm not gonna accuse Doors of padding, but these generator rooms constantly showing up doesn't feel great. And the grumble part can feel equally as long. And if I'm being honest, did I really enjoy floor 2? Wait. I'm not gonna answer that yet. Let's get into the rating before I say whether or not I liked floor 2. Now, for floor 2's overall rating, I give it a 68.7 out of 100. And the reason why is because, honestly, it's not as good as I thought it would be. Look, looking at floor 2, I know they posted a trailer and all that, but it just didn't live up to what I thought it was gonna be. And honestly, I shouldn't have hyped it up in my brain. I mean, respectfully, my monkey self is the reason why I thought that it was gonna be good. And look, it's not the greatest, it's not bad, but in my opinion, you have to be quite frank and you have to sit here and say, man, what could have been floor 2? Could it have been great? Could it have been worse? Sure, it could have. But my thing is, this is the high quality horror game. I don't want to feel like I'm playing something that doesn't even live up to the expectations that floor 1 built. So floor 2 dropping, it kind of doesn't hit the same way that floor 1 does. And if you feel differently, I mean, let me know down below, because honestly, I wish that floor 2 could have been at least on par with floor 1. I'm not saying it had to be better. I just wish it would be at least on the same level or something that could be a little bit below the level that floor 1 is. Here's the thing though, they most likely won't be able to have the same exact success that they had with floor 1. For example, making the game so fun, making the game very expansive. It's just something that cannot happen that often, especially considering the fact that they have 3 or 4 people that work on the game consistently. And here's the thing, it's only a squad of those people, which is why I have to say, why don't you just hire more people? I know it's hard to find people who actually share the same talent level that you do, but still, more is better than just 4 people. You're gonna find yourself getting very burnt out and very, fatigued because you're only the 4 people that are working on this game. But respectfully, I do have to be honest with Doors. I don't like floor 2. Listen, I wanted something that was going to be really fun. I wanted something that would be, an actual horror game type of thing. I don't like the fact that we're carrying over so much monsters. I mean, it just takes out the whole new aspect of Doors. I want there to be something that gives you that thrill. Or at least if you're going to do this, copy and paste the same goddamn monsters, right? Keep the names the same, keep them the same, but make them some different variants, some different forms. Like for example, with Screech, right? Screech, I guess you could say that he's a giggle or he's a grumble that is covered in Seek's goddamn liquid. And if that's the case, maybe try to explain that. And I'm not saying we have to explain everything because I know what the story of Doors is going for is something that is show don't tell. Listen, me playing Doors, I still have no idea why I'm in the hotel or why I'm even in the mines to begin with. I mean, what's the reason as to why I couldn't leave? I'm locked in there? I mean, is there a better reason? Like, explain. I mean, how exactly is the player still able to not be tired after running for so long, but at the same time, they can still die to anything that's in here? And they somehow have the strength to open this gate? I mean, explain it a little bit, I'm not saying the story has to be super intricate and detailed. I'm just saying I want something to be explained at least, right? Because what this is 100% show don't tell. Like, they're not telling us anything. And I think that's kind of crazy if you want people to be invested in your story, which honestly, I don't think Doors devs actually want you to be invested. They want you to probably paint your own narrative on the story. That's probably the case because honestly, I can't really think of another reason as to why you would have a story for a game and not tell anybody about the story because, that's just not it. But listen, I think floor 2 is something that could be better in the future and it's something that definitely, in my opinion, needs kind of a rework. Because respectfully, man, it just doesn't hit the same. But look, that's gonna end today's video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, click that little subscribe button, and watch this video right here. Peace out.